Okay, guys. So she's going to be teaching us parents. She's going to be teaching parents how to teach your kids money management. You know, these things are not taught in school. So as parents, it is our responsibility to teach them, to make them understand. Someone like me, if my parents had taught me how to handle money while I was growing up, I would have made better use of the money I made, because I started making money at a very young age. I started making money at the age of 13 safe, while still in secondary school. I remember when we were in break after my junior YEC, we had like 3 months break. So during that period, I was frying buns. That time I was with my aunt though. I was frying buns and I made a lot of money, but I don't know, I spent the money on relevant things because nobody was there to teach me how to handle money. So as a parent, if you can be able to teach your kids money management, they'll be able to manage, you know, their money while growing up, and they'll be able to become financially successful at a very young age, right? And it's not all the parent that knows how to go about this. So that's what we're going to be treating today. It's going to be giving you the guidelines how to go about it, you know, to make it think better with them. So let's get started.
Okay.
Now.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Okay. So my name is Deborah Sawyerr. I do all things, financial literacy for kids, young adults, and specifically women. I run 2 businesses, one Sawyer's House, which is for kids age 4 to 16. Then I have a foundation, which is for kids 16 to 25. And the foundation is more about young people who have skills, talents, and we need to nurture those skills and talents for them to be able to turn that into like a source of income. Like Zaram said, she was 13, she was frying buns, and then of course, she was making money but didn't know how to keep the money. So the foundation is really about nurturing those skills of young people, and then of course they need to learn how to be smart with money. So I'm going to just tell you how the hour is going to go, because I want to give you as much information and give you practical guides, tips, strategies as to how the day will go. But thank you so much for having me, Zaram. And if you have any questions, pop them in the comment box in the chat section, and then we will get to those either at the end or through the course. Now, the areas that I will cover today include one of the most key areas, which is needs, wants, budgeting, wish list, saving and investment. Yes, saving and investment, even where kids are concerned. So I'll give you, to start off with, a backstory of myself. Like most of us, I also come from a home background where finance wasn't taught to me as, hey, let's talk about finance, let's talk about money. I am Nigerian. So just in case you wanted to know, yes, I'm Nigerian. I was born here in the UK. I came back to Nigeria in the 70s. I went to primary school in Nigeria, I went to secondary school in Nigeria, and I did 1 year of university, and then I came back to the UK. So when I was growing up back in Nigeria, my father was a breadwinner, and my mom was a stay-home mom. The only thing I ever learned from my dad was basically knowing that my dad bought shares. Now, my father bought a lot of shares from different companies, from, I don't know, you want to talk about Tate and Lye, Guinness, Benson and Hedges, companies that made hot chocolate drink, anything you can think of, my father bought shares from them. And that's the only thing I ever heard my parents talk about when it came to money. Both my parents were very savvy with money, so they never really wasted money on, they had a simple life, not extravagant. My parents just were simple people. Okay, so then by 82, which was about 5 years after we were back in Nigeria from the UK, my father passed away suddenly. So it was just my mother, myself, and my older sister. That's just the family. And then fast forward to my 20s, when I came back to the UK, I had my first job, my first proper job, earning. Now, I rubbed shoulders with people who said, but I rubbed shoulders with somebody who I asked. I said, look, sir, what do I need to do to be smarter or to manage my money better? What is it that you do? And he said to me, he said, look, Deborah, there are 3 things you need to do. Get a chance to buy a property, buy the property. 2, Get a chance to join pension for your future, join it. I did that. 3, don't take out unnecessary insurance just for the sake of it. I did that. Now, one thing I want to say before I go into it is that I followed all 3 advice, and that has really helped me. Helped me to buy my first property, which I was able to sell probably 10 years after buying it for, I think I bought the property for about 20,000 or 24,000, and I was able to resell it some 10 years later for about, I think, 220,000. I still have my pension, which will be there for me when I'm old and I can't work anymore, plus other investments. So again, fast forward into my late 20s, I got married, and sadly, I got married to somebody who was the complete opposite of me when it comes to money. I want you to listen to this part carefully. When you are in a relationship with somebody who is a complete opposite of you need to work together as best as you can. But if it's the wife or the husband that is good with finance, let that person take charge. Yeah, so you don't fight against them, but let them take charge. It doesn't matter if it's the woman that is better than the man with finance. Let her take charge, because the man, as a man, you might be better at other things. You might be doing other things with the kids that you're good at. So, as I said, I was married to someone who wasn't good with finance, and where he had responsibilities of paying for 1 bill in the house. Let us say the bill was £600. My husband would not pay £600 rent, but he will buy a pair of jeans worth £600. And so, of course, as any person, knowing that debt is piling up, my name is being destroyed because I'm not paying these bills, which I have with my husband, arguments came. Arguments came with my African husband, my Nigerian husband. Sad to say, and I'm being honest here, my Yoruba husband doesn't like me telling him stuff. Of course, the violence came in. That's what spurred me on to write the book. Now, I live in a Western society, the whole relationship, the whole marriage of 10 years, kaput, destroyed. We have 2 children that have learned bad habits from us. So they're learning bad habits from him, some good habits from me, some bad habits from me, some good habits from him. It was a mess. So, of course, we had to go our separate ways, but I'm left with 2 children that I now need to teach again from scratch. And this is how financial education and literacy started for my kids. I started working with my kids, and the way I started was just having a conversation with them by saying, look, we need to teach you, I need to teach you how to be smart with money because you've learned a lot of bad habits. So let's get straight into it. You have these conversations to start off with financial education or money management for your kids. Here's the first thing you need to do. You need to ask yourself as an adult, what are the things that you do that are wrong when it comes to finance? You can't teach a child something you don't know. You have to be honest with yourself. You can't teach a child something that you don't know. So you need to get your own finances in order. You need to get your mind right before you can teach someone. It's like teaching someone science or how to be a doctor, and you don't even know anything about dissecting a rat. Yeah, it just is not going to happen. So lead by example. And I want you to keep that in mind as you go through anything you want to teach a child. Am I doing it? Am I not doing it? Okay, I'm looking down here because I have my notes. I don't want to forget anything. So the first thing is, check out yourself. And if there are any bad habits you've picked up, you need to undo those habits. Have a conversation with your children, and this is how the conversation should go. My darling Chioma, my darling Jason, we're going to be learning about how to be good with money so that you can manage your money as you go through life. Okay, these conversations need to be formal. Sit down and have a conversation with them. They also need to be informal as well. So you can have these conversations in the car, when you're coming back from school, when you're coming back from church, when you are having a shower or having a wash, or you are sitting at the table or in the kitchen cooking. It doesn't always have to be sit down, bring book, let's write. It's not all about that. You have to make it fun. Otherwise, they will switch off. Okay. Now, the next thing you have to do is have a conversation with your children for them to understand basic concepts like what are the needs, necessities in life. There are 3 basic necessities in life: food, clothing, and shelter. That's your responsibility as a parent. You have to provide those three things for your children. There is no compromise with that. That's your job to provide for them. Once your kids understand those three basic needs, shoes, not 1,000 shoes or 100 shoes, a few shoes for them to wear, decent clothes for them to wear, and a decent roof over their head. That's all they need. Okay? You also need to speak to them about the opposite side of need, which is want, which is the things that we like. Even as adults, we want things. I want, I want another pair of glasses, but I don't need it because I've got about 10 pairs of glasses already, right? That shows you that I'm not perfect. I want another pair of glasses, but I already have others. Yeah. So they have to understand the difference between what we need and what we want. Extra hair bubbles, extra handbag, extra pens, all those things are just wants. They're not necessities. It won't change life. Our needs are the things that if we don't have it, something will go wrong. So tell your child, if you don't have roof over your head, you want sleep for street? No. If you don't have food to eat, your stomach will be hungry. You want to be hungry? No, that's my job. Okay, clothes. You have to cover yourself up to keep yourself warm, and you don't want to be naked. So therefore, those are the necessities. Your child needs to understand that. If they understand that, it will help with the other things I'm going to talk to you about. And that's what I did with my children. Okay, my kids they're my guinea pigs, so to speak. All right. The next step is to whilst you're talking to them, you need to come to an arrangement and agreement with them about giving them some money. You can't teach a child how to understand maths without giving them numbers, or you can't teach a child how to understand English without giving them alphabets. You can't teach a child money without giving them money. Now, there are a lot of people who argue with me, say, oh, Deborah, I don't agree with you. But the bottom line is we live in different times. The time we're living in now is completely different to our time. When I was a child, and maybe when you were a child, they're not they pay us to do work for household. You go sweep ground, you go wash clothes, you go wash plates, all of those things, nobody pays us. But we are living in different times. And the stuff our parents did with us worked, but didn't really achieve results. So when I say give your child real money, I mean give them real money. Financial education, money management is not abstract. It is practical. Agree whether you want to give your children pocket money. Agree whether you want to give your children money on a gift as a gift, or agree if you want to give your children money by doing chores, cleaning the yard, washing clothes, washing plates, washing the things, chores that affect you all as a family. I know and I understand fully when you say that, oh, I shouldn't pay them. But how else are you going to give them money, right? And when you decide on what you are going to give them, make it consistent. So, for example, in my house, I wish I'd brought it with me. I have a notebook. We have a notebook like this at home, like this. A few years ago, my children and I sat down together and we wrote down all the things in our house that we have to do as chores that affects us all. So, for example, washing the car. We all use the car. I'm the driver. They are the passengers. The car has to be washed. The car has to be cleaned on the inside. The garden has to be cut. The fridge has to be cleaned. The oven has to be cleaned. The house has to be hoovered. Clothes have to be washed, folded, spread out. You can see the list goes on and on. Then next to all those chores, you have to write how much those will cost, how much you're willing to give your child. Have a discussion and make it fun. Oh, I will give you 5 naira for that. I will give you 100 naira for that. And when you agree that, let them write down next to everything that they've done on a daily basis, the chores that they've done, how much it costs them. And when they are young, when they are 4, 5, you want to be paying them in cash and you want to be paying them every week. Don't pay them when you like, as you like. Agree with them how much you're going to pay them and the frequency in which you're going to pay them as well. And stick to it. Don't say, I'll give you tomorrow, I'll give you next week. When you say you will give it to them, give it to them. Let me say this to you. My kids started off being paid cash once a week. Then as the year went by, they started getting paid cash once every 2 weeks. And then when they got older, they started getting paid into their bank account once every month. My children don't mess around. End of month come, they will tell me, Mommy, you owe us a salary. Where's the money? Okay. And I make sure that I pay them their money. Okay. So pay them on a consistent basis. Let me just check my notes. Okay, let's see. Now, the money that you pay your children, get a colo, the basic simple things. Get a colo, get a piggy bank, something they cannot open. Get a jar, seal it up with glue or something, put a hole in the jar and let them be putting their money in there. Children love to see money grow. They love to see real cash grow. If they are of an
Yes.
older age, right, take them to the bank. Even if they're not older, whatever age they are, if you have a child, go and open a bank account for them instant. Okay, they need to understand that money needs to be put somewhere safe. But colo, piggy bank, or bank account, put the money in there and let them see their money grow. Yeah. Now, again, let me give an example of my children because it's easier to give examples. When my children started, they were being given cash. They keep their cash. Then as they got older, I took them to the bank. They opened their own bank accounts. They manage their own bank accounts themselves. I don't manage it for them. They have their card. They have their own access to it. They have their own PIN number. They are responsible. And they've made mistakes as well. They have made plenty of mistakes, but that's the whole point of money management. We make mistakes and we learn from it, right? Okay. Whilst they are putting money in their piggy bank and their colo and their bank account, set a challenge for them. And this is what we as adults need to do as well. Set yourself a challenge and say, okay, I want to save 1,000 naira a month. Set your child a challenge and say, Ijoma, I want to see how you will save 1,000 naira in 2 months, 3 months, right? When you set that challenge for them, it keeps them occupied from them wanting to spend the money and take the money and go and buy corn or bully down the road or buy sweets or something that they don't need. Once you set that challenge for them, then you can surprise them. If you have access to their colo or their piggy bank or their bank account, sneakily go and put 100 naira there or 500 naira there, put it in there without them knowing. Yeah, so that when they go back at the end of the challenge and they break the colo to see what's inside of it, they will count the money up and realize, oh, I have more money than I have in there. Mom, where did that come from? This is what you call interest. This is the best way to teach your children interest. We say, I put the extra money there as interest for you. This is what happens when you put your money in savings or bank account. You will get a little extra money in your bank account. It's the same principle, but you're teaching it to them on child's level. Okay. All right. One of the key things when it comes to children is that children don't have bills to pay. They don't have responsibility, nothing. They're just children and you're teaching them. But this is the most important time to start to teach them about budgeting. Okay. Now you don't want to sit them down and tell them, oh, budgeting, because they might look at you and think, what are you talking about? If they're smart enough, you can. But the way to teach them budgeting is to say, IJ, you have 1,000 naira now in your piggy bank that you have saved up for some time. That 1,000 naira, I want you to now take, let's say, I want you to now take 200 naira and you will keep that for yourself. That's your own money. Then the other 800 naira, we are going to keep that for a rainy day. You know, rainy days come when we don't know. Sometimes the rain will just show up like that and we're not expecting it. That is for emergencies. You hear emergency fund. That is emergency. When something happens, maybe for some reason, they need to get something really, really urgently, or they want to get something that they've not anticipated. That money they've put aside is going to help them to be able to afford those things. Yeah? Okay. So,
okay, guys, sorry, it's like she's having a slight network issue.
oh,
So let's
okay.
wait for her. I'm actually taking down some notes. So if you look at,
Can you hear me?
yes, you can hear you.
You can hear me. Let me go back over that step. Did you get that?
Yeah, you were talking on budgeting.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, for us adults, when it comes to budgeting, we have to split what we've got coming in. We have to know what is coming in, and then we split it out into our bills, our savings, and our investments.
Yes.
But with children, they don't have bills. So that's taken out of the equation. It's two sections you have to split budgeting in for children. But the way you explain it to them is take 20% out of that money. Yeah, take 20% out. Teach them what 20% is. Take 20% out of that money for yourself. And then 80% of it, keep it. They can still keep it in their colo. If they want to keep it in a colo, they can have a second colo, which they call savings, or you can take them to the bank and let them put the money in the bank account. Nothing should be done secretly. Finance money is not a secret. Let it be open, in the open. Talk to them about it. Yeah, we have this taboo in Africa that children don't need to worry about those things. This is what gets us to where we are with all these problems with finance, because we are too secretive about it. Okay. And so the money they put aside is for those rainy days, like I said to you. Now, those rainy days, what I mean by those rainy days for kids is, say you have two children, right? And one of them, they're both saving and you're giving them money. When one of them has a birthday coming up and one sister or brother wants to buy something for the other one, and they come to you and they tell you, oh, mom, I want to buy this thing for my sister, whatever. Tell your child that, oh, you have put money away for 2 months, 3 months. Go and take some of that money and buy what you want to buy for your sister or your brother. You will see how quickly your child will look and say, okay, all right, I think I'll buy something small because I don't want to spend all my money. And that is how you test and see that your child is learning from you, because you want to be testing your child as you go along on a periodic basis. And what I mean by periodic basis, at least once every 3 months, test your child's knowledge of what they've learned. Yeah, tell them to pay for stuff for their friend's birthday or for their siblings. Also tell them to be paying, teach them to pay for things like, let's say it's Valentine's Day, okay? There's nothing wrong with your child buying you a Valentine's card out of their own pocket and say, mom, I bought that. But tell them they have to pay for stuff themselves. Yeah? As I'm talking about testing their knowledge periodically, ask them questions. So one of the questions you can ask them is, when you go to, let me think of an example. What did I use with my kids the other day? I asked them to go to the shop and buy me something. Okay, so you can send your child on an errand and say, go and buy me rice if they're old enough. Don't send a 4-year-old out who is too young. But if they're old enough, you can send them and tell them, go and buy me some rice or some oil. Yeah. Even if you don't buy rice and oil outside, maybe you buy in bulk, but just use it as a test. Go and buy me some oil and make sure you get me the best oil for the best price. Let them use their brain to think, what's the best deal I can get? Because this should not be the first time they're going out to buy oil. They should have been out with you already to the market when you go to the market to buy stuff. So they must see how you, mom, dad, barters in the market. How do you barter when you go and buy stuff? How do you get deals? How do you speak to the lady, the woman who is selling you rice and oil down the market? This is why I'm saying to you, finance and money management is not a secret. When you go to the market, take your children with you. Yeah. Let me give you an example. Here in the UK, we go to the supermarket. Supermarket it's easy. You can go to the supermarket like that. But when we go to the supermarket, my children are involved in the whole shopping experience. We even make it fun. When we go to the supermarket, I say, okay, so what do you think we're going to spend today? My older daughter will say, oh, mom, I think we will spend 80 pounds. My younger one will say, oh, I think we will spend 75 pounds. And then I will say, I think we will spend 99 pounds. Whoever is closest to what we spend will get a little gift from me. And it could be a gift of anything, money, it could be a gift of a shoe or a bag or whatever. Now, I don't do that every time I go shopping. But it's nice because you're rewarding them. And that is what it's about, rewarding them for them doing well. So you can ask them questions when you're going shopping for them to figure out, do they have an idea how much things cost? Do they have an idea? Have they mastered the concept of how much am I spending on a regular basis for shopping? Do they know? Like I said to you, when it's time for them to buy things for themselves, test them and say, okay, so let me go back one step. If they say to you, Mom, I need, I want, okay, not need, because needs you have to provide for. If your child says to you, Mom, I want to buy another skirt, or I like that skirt over there, it's very, very nice. It's only 1,000 naira, or it's only 1,000 naira. You say, oh, it's only 1,000 naira, Chioma. You have 5,000 naira in your piggy bank. You can buy that skirt. That's not a need because you have 5 skirts already. You know that. If they turn around and say to you, oh, oh, I don't think I need that skirt anymore. No, my money is going to go down. They are learning. They're learning. And they are also learning how to delay gratification. As adults, we don't know how to stop ourselves. We want this, we want, and we want it now. And those bad habits of wanting now and getting it now is what we project onto our children. They see what we are doing and they copy what we are doing. Okay. Now, let me move on to the next thing. I know as Africans, we take education very, very seriously, and so do I. Most of the world takes education very seriously. But one thing I do want to say to you is that children are very smart, and every child has a skill and a talent. Yeah. Don't kill off the dreams of your children just because you have certain dreams for them. It's important for them to have education, but education is not the only thing. Um, Other skills like knowing how to plait hair, frying puff puff, doing chin chin, doing what's it called, coloring. Um, any little thing that you see your child has a skill in, nurture that skill as well, because that skill can then be turned into another source of income for that child. And as long as your child's education is not suffering, therefore, nurture it so that as they're going through life, they have plan B. Their plan should not just be one plan of working in the bank and having a degree, a bachelor's, master's, or BSc, and a PhD, and working for somebody. You also want them to have something of their own that just in case something goes wrong with the job they're doing, 9 to 5 for somebody else, they have something else to fall back on. So again, let me give you an example. My 13-year-old during this lockdown has been talking to me about how she wants an Etsy store to sell stickers that kids use for journal and pen pal. You know, pen paling is writing letters to a friend and putting little stickers on it. And she realized that there's some kids who cannot afford these stickers. So she wants to buy these stickers and take bits of these stickers out and put it in a little package and sell it to those kids who are not fortunate enough. That's how she can start to generate money. She's very savvy with her money. My older daughter, that one is a fizzy. She loves nice things, looking good, nice things, and she likes to spend and waste. This is all part of them learning. Rein them in, let them make their mistakes and correct them. Okay, so we've talked about, so far I've talked to you about needs, wants, budgeting. Yeah. Now, I've talked about delayed gratification as well, where kids don't have to buy everything they need right now, right now, right now. They can wait because you're telling them to spend their money as opposed to spending your money. When it comes to kids spending our money, they have no problem. But when it comes to them spending their money, they have a major problem with it. Now, if there are things that your kids want, and you know your heart of heart that you want to give it to them, there's nothing wrong with you treating your kids outside of those 3 basic needs that they have. There's nothing wrong with it. You must have your kids write a list at the beginning of the year and as the year goes by of the things that they want from you. Let them put it on a list and put it in their bedroom, in a notebook, on their phone, on the fridge. So whenever they ask you for something, or even when they don't ask you for something, you can go on that list and look at it and you can surprise them with it. When you shop online on Amazon, there is a place in Amazon that says wish list. That wish list there is for us as shoppers to put in the things that we would like to buy, but we're not quite sure yet. Having a wish list, your child having a wish list means that it gives them time to think. 9 times out of 10, if a child has a wish list, by the time 1 or 2 months go by, they don't want that thing anymore. They've outgrown it. No, Mama, I don't need that. Forget about that. They will cross off. And therefore, that means that delayed gratification again is working. Okay? All right. The other thing I wanted to just say, and I probably would wrap up here, is maybe a few more minutes and then we will wrap up, is money management is about repetition. Repeat the process. When you set the challenge, they break the colo, take the money out, they need to put something back in the colo, they start again. Keep doing that month after month after month after month after years. They take the money, they count it, let them count it, take it to the bank. If they keep it in the piggy bank, repetition. Learning is about repetition, testing them, repeat it, correct them. Yeah. Money management is also not just about money itself. It's about other skills, other life skills. Teach your children how to cook. Yeah, teach them how to shop, teach them how to make simple meals. I know that in Nigeria, many families have housemaids, house help. But are your children just sitting around playing computer games while the housemaid is doing everything and your child doesn't know anything about cooking, anything about cleaning, anything about working to make money? You are going to de-skill your children and make them useless by the time they're older. Because if your child leaves Nigeria and comes to live in the United Kingdom or USA or Canada, sorry, there is no house help. There's no house help to help your child. How is your child going to cook? Yeah. Need to learn all these life skills, teaching them how to cook, how to spend money, how to shop, how to barter with the lady at the market. The year of 100 naira. The children need to know how to say, Madam, now 50 naira I go pay. Oh, waiting. Madam, when they say yeah, I'm down the road now, 15 naira, waiting happen. Don't just keep them to sit down in front of a laptop or a computer and that's all they do. Yeah, so it's a life skill. One of the most important things when it comes to money management is the future. Like Zaram said, the future. Yeah. When I told you about the story of my dad buying shares when I was young, my dad bought shares for himself, he bought shares for my mom. When my dad passed away in 82, which was 37 years ago, the shares that my father left are still in my family till today. My mother still gets dividend from it 37 years later. And my dad already had those shares about 10 years before that. So you can, even though it's not a lot of money is still coming out of it. So it's about the future, not just about now. So when we talk about the kids saving for rainy days, they're saving short term for things that might come up in the short term. But if those things don't come up in the short term, then you can ask for that. You can take that money that they've saved up over months and months and months and years and put it in something like Zari investment and invest it for them. Invest the money on their behalf. And again, show them, let them see, Shehu, this is the money that you saved up for 6 months and I put it here for you. I invested it. And this money, you're going to be able to use it when you're 15 years old. And your 10-year-old will say, 15, that's long time from here. Yeah, because one day you're going to be 15. Or Shehu, who is 15, you say, oh, this money, I'm going to put it there. And that money will come in handy for you when you're 21. That's 6 years from now. 6 years goes by so quick like that. Before you know, 6 years has gone. Now they need to go to university. You got some money for them to even pay for their accommodation. Yeah. So that pretty much wraps it up. I wanted to keep it simple, straight to the point without wasting too much time. I know Zaram is probably going to put some links below. I will show you very quickly. This is the book that I wrote in 2017 with the help of two of my daughters. You might want to know how old my daughters are. My daughters are 13 and 16. And we started on this journey about 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I started really teaching them properly about financial education, money management. And my kids are not perfect, and neither am I. That's the beauty about money management. It's not about perfection, but just make sure that you're doing something and ask yourself the important question. Am I doing the stuff I'm supposed to be doing before I tell my child to do this? Because they're looking at you and they may not say anything. They may not say, "Oh, mommy, you don't even do that." If they're forward like my kids will pull me up and say, "Mommy, you're a hypocrite." And I don't get angry with them because yes, I'm a hypocrite if I'm doing something, if I'm saying something, but I'm not doing it. So it's all about do as I do. Do you have any questions? A lot of comments. Okay.
Yeah, I had to do a summary of all you were saying.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. It's as if I should just start having kids now because I can't really wait to start teaching my kids these things.
It's nice. It's very
Okay,
nice.
guys, if you have any question, please drop it at the comment section so she can answer it. She has few minutes to leave here. So if you have any questions, kindly drop it at the comment section, please. While we are waiting for that, she has 3 books to her name. One of them is Play Your Cards Right. It's a workbook, right, for kids.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you want to get the comprehensive guideline on money management for kids, you should reach out to her to get a copy of the book. Right?
Yeah.
She also has another one. That one is Money, the Root of Domestic Violence. I'm definitely going to get that book. I'm definitely going to get that book. So you should get that one. I believe she wrote the book so people can know the dangers that comes with marrying a spouse that doesn't have the same is it that doesn't believe the same thing you believe about money.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now that's what the book is all about, right?
Yes.
On how to handle a spouse. If you're already married, how to handle him. If you're not married, how to go about it. So that is what the book is all about. So you should reach out to her, Deborah Sawyerr, on Facebook. I'm also going to drop her number. Can I drop your number for someone that might want to reach out to you later?
Yes, of course.
Is it allowed?
Yes. That's my business number, of course.
Okay,
yes.
So
Yes.
I'm also going to okay. I'm also going to drop her number, right? So if you have any other questions or guidelines or whatever, you can reach out to her. Okay. Do you have any mentoring program or coaching program that comes once in a while or anyone?
I like to do one-on-one, I like to do one-on-one. I don't like to follow the crowd and just have programs for the sake of programs. I'm more of a hands-on person, have fun, speak to the kids, that's how I do it. Yeah. So just reach out to me.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. So reach out to her for a one-on-one section. All right. So there's no question so far. I'm not seeing any questions. Is it that people don't have questions?
No, I haven't seen any.
I'm not seeing any question. No.
Yeah. I guess everyone got what they want.
Okay.
Finance should not be secret.
All right. Yeah, they're going to reach out to you. A lot of them, we don't have much people viewing now. So they're going to watch the replay. Yes. And if they have any questions or if you want to get the book, they can reach out to you. Please, you need to get this book as a parent. You owe it to your child. You owe it to your child to teach them money management. They don't teach these things in school. Yesterday, I was wondering, why don't they teach money management? Is it that they don't want, they want the 3%, according to statistics, the 3% that are wealthy, that are controlling the wealth of the world, to keep controlling it or what? I don't understand. Why is not added to the school curriculum?
Okay. So the other day I did a poll on LinkedIn very quickly. I did a poll on LinkedIn the other day asking, who should teach kids finance, money management? Is it the parents? Is it the school? Or is it an independent person? And a lot of people said parents, right? And here in the UK, it's not taught in schools, although it's supposed to be taught. The reason why it's not taught in schools, teachers don't even know how to teach it. They say, look, we even don't manage our money. We don't even know how to manage our money. We just know how to teach maths, English, physics, and chemistry. That's all we know. Why are you telling us to teach money management? That's your job at home. Then the parents say, well, I don't know anything. I just know how to look after my children. So that's why, of course, you're right in saying maybe they just want those people to be in control. But even rich people, not all rich people manage their money very well. There's a lot of rich people who are so bad with money. It's just because they are lucky to be born rich. That's the difference. Doesn't mean they know how to manage money. Yeah? Did you hear me? Maybe the reception. Zara, have you frozen? Am I frozen?
But is it possible for someone that's yeah, I can hear you. Is it possible for someone that doesn't have any money management skills? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Hello? Can you hear
Yes, I
me?
can. Yes, I can.
Can you
I
hear me
can hear
now?
you. Yes, I can. Yeah.
I'm not. I can hear you.
You
Seems
can hear
network
me.
is bad on your side.
Or is it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I was asking, is it possible for a child that was born into a wealthy home, but that doesn't have any money management skills at all, to be able
Yes.
to manage that his or her parents' wealth after they must have died?
No,
Is it
no,
possible? Is it
no,
possible for them to manage the money and manage it very well?
no, they're not. No, it's not possible
Oh,
because
network is very, very bad.
I
Bad, bad, bad.
know it's so bad, so so bad. I wish I could put a comment in the comment box. No, let me see. It's not giving me the option. I don't know why. Oh, maybe no, it's not possible because it is not something that we're born to know. We're not born to know how to manage money. It's just one of those things. If not, we won't be going to school to learn how to become a doctor or lawyer. If we were born to be a doctor or lawyer, why did we go to school? It's the same with anything. We're not born to know how to do our shoelaces or cross the road. Somebody has to teach you to do that. So it doesn't matter whether you're born into wealth or not. It's when children are left an amount of money and then they have no knowledge of managing money, and then when their parents pass away and the money is given to them, they mismanage it. Don't we see that all the time in Africa? How many families do you
Exactly.
know of where even in
Yeah,
my family,
exactly.
people become very greedy about somebody else's money, and they don't, because they don't know anything. They
Yes.
don't know how to manage money. And let me just round up by saying this, Zara. Whether your child or you earn 1,000 naira a month or 10,000 naira a month, if you don't know how to manage 10,000 naira a month, you will never know how to manage 1 million a year.
That
You
is the
will
truth.
never.
I can attest to that. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
All right. Thank you so
So,
much.
as parents, a lot of us. All right, all right, all right. I wanted to say something,
No, go
but
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's fine. Okay, I wanted to say that a lot of parents right now, they are hustling, striving to make money for their kids, make enough money for them. But I just want to tell you, watching this as a parent, that it will be a waste of effort for you to make all that money, live all your life building wealth, piling up wealth for your kids, and then without leaving them with any form of money management skill, right? So
Yeah.
if it is your goal to leave as much money as you want for your kids, then you should make it a responsibility to teach them so that they won't mismanage the money that took you years to gather, right? So that's just what I want to add. Okay, Miss Deborah, thank you so much for coming on board. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. The session was awesome. I actually took a lot of notes.
Okay.
Thank you. Wish to have you on board some other time, right?
Thank you. Of course. Of course. Why not? Always.
Okay, okay.
All
All
right.
right.
See you
Bye.
soon. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone. Thank you so much. It's nice to
yeah.
meet you all. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. You could choose to ask questions. If you have any question, please reach out to her, right? Deborah Sawyerr, that's her Facebook name. I'm going to drop her WhatsApp number now. Let me quickly copy her number and paste it. That's her WhatsApp number. Like she told you, she's a mother to two girls. So most of the book she wrote, the Play Your Cards Well that she wrote, she actually used her kids as case study, right, to write that book. So it shows you practical guide, practical steps to take. I want to teach your kids money management. So please, please, please get the book. You don't want all your efforts now, all your hustling to be in vain when you're gone. You don't want your kids to mismanage your money when you're gone. Then you need to be able to, give them the proper education now. All right. So I just pasted her number. I just pasted her. Now, thank God we were able to do this. Before now, I had wanted us to do this Facebook webinar. There was someone I wanted to bring on board, a lady, but she couldn't make it for some reasons. She wanted to come to us on different ways to access funding for our business.
Lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith would be made stronger in the presence of myself.